Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day in general, from wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Outreachy Coffee Chat with our past interns. I hope you're all doing great. And to the Outreachy contributors that we have out there, I hope the contribution is going really well. I hope you've started contributing and I hope you've joined the project community that you're contributing to, and I hope you are getting the hang of it. Please let me know in the comments how the contribution is going, and I'm really happy to have everyone here once again. So, just like one of our goals as Outreachy is to be able to support the Outreachy applicants. That's our program applicants. So, for those who are just joining this coffee chat for the first time, if this is your first time coming just passing by or you're just hearing about Outreachy for the first time. So Outreachy's goal is to support diversity in tech, and we do this by providing remote paid internship opportunity to persons who are underrepresented in the country they are living in tech. So our program is remote and it's paid and it's a 3 month internship, just like I've explained. So the program happens we have two rounds every year. We have the round that starts in May, and we have another round that starts in December. So, in case you are not able to start your application when we started in February, not to worry, the next application is starting in August, and you should look out for that. So, you can follow us on any social media platforms so that you can get the notification when we start, and you can as well go to the Outreachy website to sign up to our announcement mailing list. We're looking forward to your application. For those who are already in the second stage of this application process, which is the contribution stage, I know this is the beginning of another week for your contribution, and I hope it's going well. And to help you again during this, to support you during this process, we have two or three of our past interns. They are going to be coming on board. They are going to be sharing their own experiences, and also most importantly, they are going to be sharing tips on how they're going to be sharing tips on how you can or you should submit your final application. Remember, your application is not complete if you have not submitted your or if you not submit your final application. So it is important that you make at least one contribution, you record your contribution, and you submit your final application. And yes, obviously, I can't wait to welcome you to the internship itself. So I'm going to be bringing upstage now my guests for today. They are awesome persons and they're here to share their knowledge with us. I have Ruqaiya and Cecilia. So why the coffee chat is going on, we can have the past intern as well join us. But for now, let's continue with the guests that we have. So I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. Like they're going to start with their name, their location, very importantly. We know that Asuchi is for everybody around the world. And Asuchi really welcomes everyone, regardless of your background, your color, your career background, and so on and so forth, the language you speak, and so on and so forth. So, I have Cecilia with me today. So, Cecilia is going to be introducing herself as well, and Cecilia will as well tell us where they're joining us from today. They're going to tell us the project they contributed to, the year they contributed, and their role during their contribution. Hi, Cecilia. How are you doing?
Hi, Amotola. Hi, everyone. Okay, I'll go right ahead. Good evening, everyone. My name is Orji Cecilia, and I'm joining the call from Lagos, Nigeria. Um, the project I contributed to was a Tor browser project. I'm sure you all know it, also known as the Onion browser. And I contributed as a Golang developer, and that was like major required skill. And what else is the person?
Um, what was your role? What was your role to the project you contributed to? Are you, say, a front-end developer, a back-end developer, a technical writer, researcher, and so on and so forth? So what did you do?
Oh, okay. So I consider as a backend developer with Golang.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Cecilia. We are really glad to have you on board today. So let me move on to the next guest that we have here. Hi, Rukia. How are you doing? Rukia, are you there?
Hi, hi, Mutala. Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Ruqaiya. I'm from Pakistan, and I was interning Mboalab community. My role there was as was research assistant, and I participated in cohort December 22 to March 2023. I would like to say few things about my community. Embro Lab is an open and collaborative space located in Cameroon, and its aim is to catalyze sustainable local development. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Rukia. And just like you can see, everyone, you can see Celia said they are from they are from Nigeria and they're contributing to this big project as well. Rukia mentioned that they are from Pakistan and they're
Yeah, I am
contributing
from
to a
Pakistan.
project. Yeah, so you can see that Outreachy welcomes everyone from around the world. If you have joined our previous charts, you see our mentors from other countries as well. You see the past interns from other countries as well. So this is just to clear that out. If you are still asking yourself, maybe your Outreachy will not accept you because of your location. I think you should clear that by now that Outreachy welcomes everyone regardless of your location. So if you have any question or you are facing any struggle or anything that you think is weighing you down currently for your contribution, please feel free to ask in the comments and our guests for today, Rukiat and Cecilia, will be answering. We also have the Aspiratory organizers in the chat looking through your questions and they are going to be answering as many as possible that we can. So let's move on to some questions I have for our guest right now. And I'm going to start with Rukia. So, Rukia, tell us about your experience with the Outreach contribution stage. I know you've like started the conversation by telling us about your community. I still want us to tell us more about your community, the kind of persons in your community, how collaborative they were, and also communication with your mentor. A lot of our applicants have questions about how can I reach out to my mentor? How can I it feels overwhelming right now. How can I communicate with my other contributors? There are lots of community members there. I don't even know what else to do. So, from your own experience, tell us about your contribution stage, using your community communication with your mentors and the your own contribution to the project as a case study.
So, so when I was selected in my contribution phase, I go through all the projects that was available on Outreachy website, and I researched those. I shortlist a few communities and research them, and one Empo community come in front of me because that this community helps mostly kids and women. So that interests me, and directly communicate with my mentors for one or more than 2 weeks, no, more than 1 week. I didn't got any response from mentors, but I keep search about the community and the project they are offering us as intern. The mentors were very supportive and motivated me to contribute and use any language, any as I am from IT background. They said you can use any language to contribute in our community. So I just proposed that how can I contribute to their community and why I am interested in them. So they just helped me out and motivated me to do my work and introduces me about past interns and their experiences. And I just read all the documentations on their website. So this way I get into in this community.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rukia, for taking us through that process. So, a quick one for our guests, so that we can hear each other very well. So if you're not speaking, kindly mute your mic so that we can hear the other person very well. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a question actually, even though we are not supposed to take the questions as this early start, but why not? We are here to support the applicants and they're asking question. So someone is asking a question and someone just said they are still not able to make a contribution. They're overwhelmed by the big repo. Can you please help me a bit on how to go through these issues and how to set up the environment? So I'm going to reply that at first. I was just typing out the response to that. So kindly pick a project. From the last chat we had, we mentioned that you should pick a project that you're comfortable with. It's okay if you don't know everything required of the project, and that is why you have your mentors and the community in place to like help you out with issues. So be comfortable with asking question openly. Reach out to your mentor via DM or email or in the community if that is the platform they've assigned that you should reach out to them on. And our past interns are also going to be like saying some things regarding this question. So you, if you feel the project repo is too big, ask question, ask for directory in the community itself. I'm going to allow Cecilia to like answer that question and as well tell us their experience during their contribution phase.
Okay, so hi. So I won't say I also faced that as well because during my set as well, like the projects I had saw, because I am a Golang developer, so I had just there were just two Golang projects there. And like and then you see like okay, like the skills required, okay, I have this, but what of the rest? So what you should check, just as Omotola said, like the skills because actually the skills are already ranked already. So ensure that at least those main skills like you have them. I think that the other ones like there are things you can pick along the way, then fine. Or if not, just go to the ones you feel you are comfortable with. And yeah, those be the one you feel comfortable with. For the issues as well, the same thing. During my time, so when I went to the GitLab repo, so I looked through the issues for Outreachy contribution, first contribution, and some of them were like, "Oh, how will I do this?" But then I saw, okay, there was testing, and testing is something I'm very good with. So I just went ahead and wrote testing, and that was what helped me. So just go with the one you're comfortable with. But if you feel you can pick them along the way, or it's something that you can easily learn along the way, then fine, go ahead with it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for answering that question. I'm still going to come back to you because we wanted to like share your experience of how I think you've actually shared that a bit in your response just now. Um please, just like Cecilia has mentioned, I'm going to like put that on speaker again, like say that again. Please pick a project you are comfortable with, and it's okay if you don't know everything required of the project, but just go through the repo and pick something you feel you can actually try out, probably by asking questions, learning more things about it, and yeah, so that you can start the contribution. And please ask question openly. Rukia, I don't know, maybe you want to add one or two things to that question to answer that question.
Yeah, I think one must choose a project which they have skills about, or they are open to learn about that project. So it will be easy to contribute and take project throughout the internship. Like if you are not comfortable with that project, then you need to get in so it will hurt you throughout the internship. So just choose the project that interests you, or even little interest is enough, or be open to learn. This is what I can say.
Thank you so much for that. So what Rukaya just mentioned is that you should, aside you picking a project you are comfortable with, pick a project that you are interested in. Comfortable and interest should go again together, and you should be open to learning. You should be open to doing more research on your own, so that just like our past intern mentioned in the last chat that we had, do your own research on that project. Your mentor might not provide you with 100% of everything you need, but you should reach out to them with this is the things I've been able to like do on my own. This is the research. This is the results I've gotten from my research. I think I'm stuck on this process or on this thing. Please feel free to please feel free to work with like do research on your own and be able to like do some things on your own, so that when you reach out to the community or your mentor, you'll be able to like ask detailed and informed question, and they will be willing to like assist you. Remember, you are not the only one contributing. A lot of your mentor is getting a lot of requests, assistance from everybody contributing, so you want to like stand tall in your game. Okay, so the next question I have now, please, Cecilia, take note. Someone just mentioned that your mic is unclear. So please, you can take note of that when answering the next question. Okay, so let's talk about this, which is the final application. Our focus today is on the final application. If you still have question about how to contribute, the step to take to reach out to your mentor, how to get how to contribute in general, please, I would advise you watch our last chart, and that is the chart about the Outreachy contribution stage, the what, how, and how to begin. Please, we have past interns that came to the last chart to give beautiful and awesome insights on how the Outreachy contribution stage should go. They give you everything you need to know about the contribution stage. Please go back and watch in case you missed that. So this today's chat will be more focused on the final application. We all know that it is important for you to make at least one contribution. It is let me start from here. It is important for you to pick a project, to contribute to a project, to make at least one contribution, and to record your final contribution. We mentioned in our last chat that you can start recording your final application, because you can actually edit your application, a final application. So I'm going to ask Rukia. Rukia will start with this question: when and how did you, during your own contribution stage, when and how did you start preparing for the final application submission?
Well, I just first focus on the task that that community gave me, and as soon as I completed my task, am I audible?
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
you're audible. We can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can. So I was saying that when I have done all my tasks given by my mentors or my community, I started writing what I am contributing. Like I was communicating with mentors. I have done tasks, and while doing my tasks, I used to help other applicants as well. Because as my background was in IT, so I know about Git and all things, and many other applicants were new to Git. So I used to help them, and I record that I have this person with this issue and how I solved. So these are the small details I have written in my final application in time in recording, like when I was recording the contribution after completing my all tasks. And obviously, when we submit final application, we need to uh, read questions very carefully, and the description. Every question has a description below. So I read it carefully, and even I research that how I can answer, and what outreach, yet what it sounds professionally, what my answer, if my answer looks professional or not, or it's real or just making story making. So I researched a lot, and it took me 1 week to submit my application. So this is how I just took my final application very seriously and recording it.
Mhm. Thank you for using that last sentence. I love it. You took your final application that like very seriously. Just the same way you were eager to submit your initial application. This is even way better because you can start submitting, like recording your final application. Rukia mentioned that um she was recording as little as helping other contributors with their contribution, helping them with the tools and every necessary things that they already know of. So that can be your contribution that you're recording, and as well any changes you are making to your project, any improvements you're doing to your project. All in all, the summary is just that you should start submitting or recording your final application on time. So let's hear from Cecilia. Hi, Cecilia. Tell us about when and how you started recording your contribution.
Okay. You mean the final application, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. For my final application, I submitted that I think a week before the deadline. Because then I remember we had a Twitter space then. I don't know if you remember Motala with Fresh. So she told us of someone that's like somebody that did contributions but then forgot to submit final application. And there's no you didn't submit, you did not submit, like just the way Ruqaiya said, it's very super important. The final application is super important. So I submitted mine a week before, and I think there were some questions that I needed to ask from my mentor. So I sent him, "Okay, sir, do I need to? What should I fill for this place?" And just carry your mentor along. Like that communication is very super important.
Okay. We've heard again that submitting your final application is super important. And while you're recording your final application, ensure to carry your mentor along. Ensure to you can do well to remind other contributors to submit their final application. It goes a long way. Okay, so someone just asked the question that do they stand a chance if they start contributing now? Why not? Why not? You can start contributing now. I remember one of her past chats we had Monsurat, if I'm not mistaken, mentioned that they mistakenly deleted all the contribution they've been making so far, I think for the past 3 weeks, for the first 3 weeks, and they were left to just with a week to like work on that, and they started doing another contribution based on the knowledge they've gained so far, and they were able to not only submit but also get into the internship itself. So you still stand a very good chance. Just communicate very well. Okay, so the next question I have here is so we've heard from the last question I have now, we've heard that you can start preparing for your submission now. Remember, you can always edit your final application before you make the final submission. So let's ask Cecilia this question. Cecilia, I want you actually to look back at your contribution period. What are the mistakes that you think you or other contributors make during the contribution period? It can be your story, it can be maybe other things that you notice in the community that you think might probably be a mistake that you want to share with applicants and contributors that we have right now.
Okay, so I'll just be saying them as it comes to my head. So some of the mistakes I think contributors make. Okay, I tried to avoid because I actually heard of them. First of all, was not communicating with your mentor. Like, okay, you accept you want to work on a project, you want to contribute to a project. The first thing you should do is communicate. Either send your mentor a mail, join the community channel, send him or her a mail, introduce yourself to the like the whole community. So, like, it is very important to do that. Introduce yourself. Let your mentor know that. Oh, don't just go to the repo and just start contributing. Yeah, so communicate with your mentor. Another mistake is this imposter syndrome, because I actually had that during my time. You just see this very big project and they're thinking, oh, this thing is so huge, where do I start from? Because you need to understand the project before you even start contributing. You need to understand what is going on in the repo itself. So yeah, you get it can be really overwhelming. I won't even lie. Because for mine too, it took some time for me to really like grasp what's happening before I can now say, okay, let me start contributing. So don't feel too don't let that draw you back. Always anywhere you, because that person is a mentor. If you're having that feeling, or you are feeling like a knowledge gap or anything, ask your mentor. They're always there to like help you out. Mine was super nice person, rescue. So always communicate with them. Even the community members, communicate with them. They're really nice people. Another one is recording your contribution. your final contribution very, very important. So yeah, those are the ones I can remember currently now.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Rukia, do you want to add something to that? Is there any mistake you made during your contribution that you don't want other contributors to make right now, or a mistake that you think someone else actually make, and you just want to like point it out that please don't make that mistake. Be careful.
I think I did one mistake that I underestimate myself and my skills, and when I visit other projects that are not of my interest, and I just saw those projects and I just afraid I will not be able to learn these skills and this is not my field. So this is one of the mistake I think I should have given those projects as well. And one more thing is that many I saw many applicants were selecting more than two projects. Like if they were thinking that if they will not be accepted in one community, they will get chance on others, and this is not, I think, to me this is useless, because you can't give your 100% to one project. And if you can't be when you work on three projects or two projects, you can't give your 100% to one project, right? And other thing is that while doing your task or communicating with your mentors, or engaging with your community, not writing your not writing what are you doing on daily basis, because when we write what we are doing on our daily basis, that counts in our contribution, and we can write those things in our final application. So this is the thing. There are many mistakes which I'm not talking about, but these are the main things.
Thank you so much. I know we'll keep remembering other probably mistakes that we make, but I think I've picked like 4 or 5 things from what you both have discussed. Cecilia mentioned that you should not allow imposter syndrome to that it is real. You are going to, I know a lot of persons have been communicating about it, that you feel like a lot of persons are contributing to the same project, and you ask yourself, do you stand a chance? Yes, you stand a chance. You need to be positive and remember the goal. Like, you have to contribute well, record your final submission contribution, and you get into the Outreachy internship. You need to be positive. Don't let that fear of maybe you don't belong here, there are lots of persons contributing, don't let it weigh you down. Give it your best shot. And the best thing that will happen is you're going to pass the stage, join Outreachy as an intern. And the worst thing that will happen is you're going to learn more about the project and even continue contributing and apply again to Outreachy. So please don't feel overwhelmed. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, but I'm telling you, and the guests are just saying that it's normal. You're not alone. A lot of persons have actually felt the same way, the way you're feeling right now. The way you're feeling right now.
Ma'am, I have one more thing to add, that many applicants were afraid that they are joining Outreachy first time and they may get rejected. Well, let me tell you, this was my first time, and I just don't have knowledge about Outreachy, and I just got selected. So it's called be lucky or what, but I have full confidence that I can do this because I was curious about open source and I got selected. So this is not a thing that you can't be selected. This.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for adding that. So don't let any fear stop you. Don't doubt yourself. You have to believe in yourself before your mentor or any other person is going to believe in you. Believe in yourself. And for those working on more than two projects, actually will only recommend that you work on one or two projects. Please don't overwhelm yourself by working on multiple projects, and at the end of the day you are not able to make meaningful contributions to these projects. So this is just like you trying to catch a lot of fishes, and you are not able to catch
Exactly.
any fish at all. Okay, so and also it is important for you to communicate really well. Communicate very well. Do your own research. Ask question openly. Ask a mentor question via the provided platform, and use the project community to ask question. Ask question openly. And if this is your first time contributing to Outreachy, If this is your first time contributing to Outreachy, you stand a very good chance to get in as intern. We have past intern like Ruqaiya and other past interns that have been on our coffee chat mentioned that they're contributing for the first time and they got in. And as well, we've had past interns that have tried twice, three times and they got in. So don't be discouraged. Just focus on your goal and be positive about it. Okay,
Yes,
so
sorry, I just wanted to add that same here. Like, Outreachy was like my first time contributing to open source Outreachy, like open source in general. That was my first time. So yeah, as Omotola said, don't let anything down to you. Just believe in yourself that you can get it. Just have that positive, be optimistic. Yeah, I can do it, and you do it. Yeah.
be optimistic. Thank you so much for adding that. Okay, so let's go to a personal question right now. So, Rukia, let me start from you. So, personally, as an outreach contributor during your period, what stood out for you? What is that thing that if you look back right now, you are going to say, "Oh, I'm grateful for contributing to outreach during the contribution stage."
Yeah, for me, what stood me out is I managed to work in diverse environment. Like we have interns. Like I'm from Pakistan, and my co-interns from Nigeria, and my mentor was from Nigeria, and my mentor has different education background than me. Like I'm IT, and he's from a scientist, data science. So I was very excited that I don't know about machine learning and AI thing, and my mentors know about these things, and I came to learn about AI and machine learning from my mentor. And we used to communicate, like we used to know about each other's cultures and our working style and communication. Even we used to learn our slang languages, like what Nigerians use languages. So it was very good experience for me. And another thing is that while contributing to open source, two things are very important: have patience and good communication skills. Like you don't need to have to talk fluently. You just need to be kind and communicate very well and be patient, because at the other end, when you talk to other people, they have their own commitments and they have their own work to do, but still they are managed to, because mentors are volunteering, they are managing to guiding us and giving resources to us. So this is a thing. And yeah, this is a thing.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Rukia. Do you have anything to add to that? Let's hear from you, Cecilia. What stood out for you during the contribution stage?
What stood out for me was my community. My community stood out for me. The open source, the Tor browser community, like, yeah, they were like extremely patient people. I remember when I joined, I already told my immediately I joined, I told my mentor then that please, I'll ask some stupid questions, just, and he just laughed about it. Like I just told him that there was some question I'll ask that sounds stupid, like as if I don't know anything, just laugh and say any question I can ask. And I just go to the community when I'm stuck on anything, I ask. And even some there was a guy I met from Nigeria too that was contributing to that. We became friends. Even till now, like we chat on WhatsApp. Just everybody was very, very helpful. So for me to be the community that stood out for me.
Awesome, awesome. And these are actually um some things, some of the goals that Outreachy has. Like Outreachy bring you together to work in diverse environments. You are in one location working with another person in another location, not just learning about how to enhance that open source or open science project. You are actually learning about the other person's culture, their communication skills. You're also improving not just your technical skills, but improving your communication skills as well, and you're making new friends, enhancing your professional circle, because you're going to meet people of different knowledge, of diverse backgrounds, and you're going to learn more about them. And another very good thing about open source in general is the community behind it, the power of community. And this is us also like referencing or using what Cecilia just mentioned, that Cecilia mentioned that something that stood out for them during the contribution stage is the power of community, the community behind the project that they pick. So you now have the power, you are now experiencing the power of community behind open source and open science. So in your respective open source or your respective project community that you belong to, make good use of the community behind it. Ask questions openly, talk about what you are up to, talk about your contribution, talk about what you want to do, talk about how you are struggling with it if that is the case, talk about your struggles and how you are able to like accomplish it. You're going to get the technical support, the soft support, and I like to use the word soft support, that motivation you need at that point where you're struggling with that project, because someone else have probably gone through that stress before and they are letting you know how they actually were able to overcome that struggle. And you can as well share your experience with another applicant. Share your experience of how you were struggling with that project and you were able to like get over it. So if you have, so that is it. Make sure you enjoy the power of community behind open source and be ready to learn from the diverse persons that you are going to be working with in that community. Okay, so let's look through the chat and see if we have any question that has not been. I can see Anna is there attending to some questions. Okay. So Cecilia, I will allow you to answer this question. So Anna just mentioned or asked that, can I still get selected if my contribution is not strong, but my final application is convincing? How do you describe if your final application is convincing? I don't know. Any of our guests want to answer that before I probably step in?
I think how do you know that your contribution is
Um,
not acceptable
Ruqaiya,
or
are you
is not
there?
strong? Like this clear is not strong, then yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes,
Am
you
I
are now.
audible?
Yes, you are
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So I'm saying that how do you know that your contribution is not strong? Like when you contribute, your mentors will accept your PR and give feedback. If not giving feedback, they are accepting your PR and you're submitting your application. Then after submission, there will be a final result. So that means your contribution is undertaken now. So I don't think so that it's a weak thing. Be confident about it.
Okay. So let me add something to that question. So, Suada, I'll drop a link in the chat now. I'll advise you go through this link. This link explains how contributions are being evaluated, how all contributions are being evaluated. I know you might feel like it's a competition, but if you read these guidelines that Outreachy has prepared, you will better understand how the mentors evaluate your contribution. So you don't assume you are making little contribution. Sometimes that little contribution that you are seeing might be what your mentor is actually looking for. So, and that is why you should communicate very well. Communicate and on communicate. Read the documents that the project has provided for you about like the contribution. If you read this and you read the Outreachy guidelines on contribution stage, all this information that you gather together will help you to make the kind of contribution that your mentor is actually looking for. I hope that helps. Thank you very much. So someone does ask another question. Please, when is the deadline for contribution? You can see that strolling around going through our screen right now. The final application is deadline is on 3rd of April 2023, and after which the accepted applicants will be announced on the 4th of May 2023 at 4 p.m. UTC. I hope that answers your question. I'm trying to look through if you have any other question. If you have any question, please ask. And someone just asked, contrib- when can they start contributing to? Oh, I just missed the question. can I know when we can start our final application? You can start as soon as possible. Okay, I can see Anna has answered that. Start as soon as possible. You can always edit your final application. Start as soon as possible so you don't miss anything. Do we have any question? If you have any question, please ask. Okay, so if we don't have any question, I'm going to go back to our guest. So Ruqaiya, can you in 3 words summarize your Outreachy contribution period experience in 3 words?
In 3 words, it's very difficult. Um, let's self motivation, confidence, and curiosity. Curiosity in open
Mm,
source and your about your community. And because open source is open source, like it doesn't you doesn't have to be technical, or if you are non-technical, then how can you contribute and do things. So these 3 words I can tell out.
thank you so much for sharing those three powerful words. And I hope the current contributors are taking notes and they will be able to share their 3 words. I'm going to share a story, but I'll allow Cecilia to go first. Cecilia, can you share with us 3 words to explain or express your contribution period experience?
In 3 words, it was insightful. Um, yeah, it made me get confidence, just like Rukia said. And another word, it was all about service.
All about service, all about service. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I might probably let me explain, because some persons might ask, what do you mean by all about service? Or maybe I should allow Cecilia to explain that. Cecilia, do you want to explain that?
Okay, yeah, no problem. So all about why I said all about service is like it's one of my core values because I remember when we got into Outreachy, we were asked to talk about core values, and yeah, service is one of my core values. In that, when you relate that to open source, you see, open source is just like you giving back because you've gotten a lot from the community, you've gotten a lot, and you're now giving back to the community. It's an open project, like you're contributing to a project that millions of people will use. For example, my the project I contributed to Tor browser, like I really felt like I felt in love with it because the whole what Tor browsers does, like it allows you to browse privately, explore freely. There's no censorship and all of that. So yeah, it was very interesting for me contributing to such a huge project. So that's why I said it's service for me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those beautiful words and explaining it. So I can see our viewers are actually asking questions, and I can see Anna there helping us to answer as many as possible. So I'll just flip through to see if there's any question that we need to address. So Aminat Olaide just asked if a question. If what if one mentors do not assign someone to a task you did or contributed? Is that something to worry about? And this is why Rukiat and Cecilia mentioned that you should communicate with your mentors. I think Ruqaiya mentioned and emphasized on the fact that you should not just go to the repo and start contributing. Communicate with your mentor and ensure they assign that task to you so that you can record and so that they can acknowledge it, right? And for those asking what is the number of applicants, interns that will be chosen, I just share the link in the chat. You can go through the past interns our alumni list so that you can see the past interns that were accepted. For the last course we had 65 interns. Someone just asked a question: how long does it take your mentors to approve your contribution? It depends on your mentor and it depends on your projects that you're working with. But whatever the case is, kindly communicate with your mentors, your community coordinators, and your community in general. Ask questions, talk about what you're doing, ask for clarity if there is need to communicate. Cecilia mentioned that communication is super important. this is the period where you should communicate. Your mentor should know you are ready for this task. You should prove your mentor right that yes, you are making a very good decision by picking me as an intern because I'm ready to do this. So how many applicants will be selected? We've already mentioned that last course we picked 65 interns. So watch out for the number of interns that will be picked for this round. Um okay, let's go back to the final question, not really a question that we have for our guest. What advice would you give to the current Outreachy contributors? So I want it, or I will advise our mentors to do it, our guest, that's Outreachy past interns, to do it in this way. You want to give advice to the current contributors. If possible, I need you to share, if possible, like stories, word of motivation. You've heard a lot of contributors mention that it's really stressful right now. They're feeling overwhelmed. They are contributing. Some persons are already contributing. It's awesome. Some persons are enjoying. They are learning new things. I mean, so what advice will you give them right now? Maybe some sentence to keep them, remind them of what they are doing and to keep them going. Let's start with Rukia.
um, they need to keep, like, communication is the key to success in open source. So keep your communication clean and concise with your mentors and within your community, and help other applicants in your community, and keep sharing your progress in that community. And be patient, and because not every time mentors have other commitments to work on. So just be patient and keep contributing and improving yourself. Like, it's not a thing that if mentor is guiding, it doesn't mean that mentor will spoon feed you, like how the things will happen and how you will do. Just improve yourself, learn, use this contribution phase as much in your learn new things, documentation, or whatever project you are contributing to. Research about that community, and research that how can you contribute in that community in meaningful way, like what your how your your contribution will benefit that community. And yeah, this stage, I know contribution stage is very stressful, so just take yourself, stay hydrated, and take care of yourself, and enjoy this phase and keep learning. So this is a thing.
Enjoy the space, communicate, be ready to learn, be open, be positive, and keep learning. Cecilia, let's hear from you. Thank you so much, Rukia, for sharing that.
Okay, so the question is what advice I would give contributors, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll say be positive. Just be positive about the whole process. See it as a learning curve. Because during my own contribution phase, yeah, as I said earlier, it felt overwhelming. Like I know of times when I had to be on calls, throughout in the night, like trying to like debug stuff. So just be positive about it and give it your best shot. Like there's nothing like try, just try, give it your best so that even if it doesn't work out, you know that yes, I gave it my best. And then if it doesn't work out, just look at where did I what areas did I do wrong? So when else you're applying, you apply those things. And what else? Communication. Like I can't overemphasize it. Communication is very, very important. Always communicate with your mentor. When you make a PR, let's say you make a PR today and throughout the day and there's no comments, it hasn't been merged. Communicate, send your mentor a DM or a mail. I made this PR and nothing. Like if not, your mentor did not like say, oh, you need to do this, or no, just give you some guidelines on what to do better before you can merge it. So communication is super super. Always um let your mentor know what you are doing when you have bugs, or communicate with the community channel with your mentor. Be positive and just give it your best.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think there are three words that we've said very well today. And the first one, or maybe I should ask our audience the three words that we've like Ruqaiya, Omotola, Cecilia have mentioned very well today. I'm looking to your response. Interns. We have three words that the three of us today, both the host and the guests, we've mentioned very well. I'm looking at your response actually. So while our viewers are sharing the three words, the most mentioned three words in this chat, I'm going to share a brief story. We have past interns that during their contribution stage they put in so much effort, they contributed, recorded their final application, but unfortunately they didn't get into the internship because their mentor I think the project needed two interns and their mentor picked two interns. But what's the good thing that stood out for them during after this period, what stood out for them was that they were able to like write a book about their experience during the contribution stage. It was the first time contributing to open source. They learned a lot of things and they wrote a book out of it. So this is just encourage someone out there. The second story before I finalize on that. The second story is of another Asuchi contributor that during the contribution stage they also didn't get into the the internship stage, and after which they were able to volunteer their time to lead open source community in their local environment. I think in Africa, they started organizing and co-leading, managing the open source community. So, what am I trying to say in general? This is just a stage to get into the internship. Congratulations. I can't wait to welcome as many interns as possible that will get past through the stage and get into the internship. I can't wait to welcome you. I can't wait to work with you all. And for anyone that didn't pass through the stage, I know you've put in a lot of effort and I don't want that to discourage you. Please remember you have learned one or two things, you have met with one or two persons, you are not the person you used to be when you started applying for the Outreachy internship. If you agree with me, you have learned one or two things. So talk about it, write an article about it, share it online, share the new things you've learned. Tag Outreachy. I can't wait to read your articles. Express your appreciation if you have learned one or two things. And most importantly, please apply again. Don't feel discouraged. Instead, learn from those people who were picked as interns, reach out to them, communicate with them if necessary, learn what they did best, and learn from your own mistake. You personally will know some things that probably you didn't do right, maybe communication, maybe you were not being positive, maybe you didn't even record your final application, or you record your final application, but you didn't record all your contributions. You will know something that you didn't do well. So this is me saying on behalf of Outreachy that you're welcome to apply again. And trust me, one of the stories I mentioned, one of them actually applied again, and they even got in. I think at the third attempt, and they got into the internship. So please focus on your goal, and trust me, we can't wait to welcome you. And remember, the next application is starting in August for those who probably didn't get in. And let's go back to the three words. I can only see two persons that responded to it. Thank you, Michael Ruda, for saying communication. That is actually one of it. Okay. Cecilia mentioned that they have a template to share to record final application. So, Cecilia, you can share the link with us and we'll share it on the comments. And you can also share with us. We'll share it on our social media or you share it on your social media platform. So to reach out to Cecilia, if you check the description to this video, you will see the details, the contact information of Cecilia there. Please reach out to them and you are going to get. Okay, they've shared the link and I'm going to share it as well. But if you have any question, feel free to reach out to Ruqaiya. Ruqaiya or Cecilia or any of our past interns, they are willing, ready to help you out with anything you need help on. Okay, so the three words are communication, be open-minded, stay positive. I think those are it. I'm just going to like reframe that. Communication is very important. Be open, and your openness means you should not allow your fear to like limit you. You should not allow the number of persons contributing to your community project to limit your contribution. You should be positive. You should know why you are in there. And the third thing, and very important thing, is for you to submit your final application. Submit your final application. Start recording your final application now. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope we have been able to like answer all the questions that have been asked. I don't know if Rukia has any final words before we call it a day. Hi, Rukia, are you there?
Final words. Yeah, I'm here. My final words are be open to learn and communicate. Like be open to learn, to communicate, to make friends, to make network. Just be open. There's nothing um, bad thing if you're not, like, don't be closed. Come out of the box.
Hmm. Come out of the box. That's it. That's the word. That's the right word. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, Thank you so much, Rukia, for sharing that. Cecilia, do you have any last word to share with our contributors?
Okay, yeah. What I'll say is just give it your best shot. Give it your best shot. Give it everything you have, and let's see what happens.
Give it your best shot. And from me, Omotala, as one of the organizers, what I would say is we are proud of you. We are proud of your efforts so far, and we can't wait to um, finally welcome you to the Outreachy internship program. We look forward to your final application, and we look forward to officially welcoming you as an intern. So the final application deadline is 3rd of April. Once again, I'm sharing that for those who probably missed that. 3rd of April, that's the deadline. And we are going to announce the final interns, the accepted interns, on the 4th of May 2023. If you have any question, please feel free to reach out to us via applicant_help@outreachy.org. You can also send us a DM on any of our social media platform on Mastodon, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. We have the details of where you can reach out to us in the description down here. See you some other time. Remember to follow our guests and ask them questions if there is need to. See you some other time on another episode of our coffee chat. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you so much, our guest, for coming. Thank you so much to the listener for joining us today. See you. Bye.
Bye.